Special Effects, Kalispell, Montana.
Surface that you're working on, which this one is just slightly curved and not too curved at all. It's a 1980 Camaro trunk lid.
Ah.
And you set the curve, walk across, and the Curvecaster really shows you your highs and your lows, especially on this style of, this is a black primer with a white guide coat, so it really shows contrast. And as you can see, this trunk lid is in dire need of this blocking.
Right, you can see the lows and the highs.
And the highs.
Where the primer, where the preview code, the guide code is been sanded off, and it's still staying in the low areas.
Yes.
And Wes is using a stick-it board with stick-it paper, his choice
grit.
of paper.
With 220 grit.
220 grit. And this is a special epoxy primer filler that's on this deck lid. You can see where the low is starting to go away.
And it's still matching the curve of the trunk lid, the natural curve too.
Right.
So it really works really well. And I've also used this board on semi-truck fenders where it has a really strong curve, and it's nice because you can lock it in and match your curve and really get a nice straight block out of it.
That's what it's for. It's the 1/8 inch thickness pad on this Curvecaster speeds up the process, is the leveling process. You can see how the board is matching the contour, not too much, just enough, just right.
Just right. And you can see where actually the Durablock might have flattened it out too much.
Right, the Durablock would dig into that low area, and that's what you don't want to happen. The idea is to take the highs down and not dig into the low areas. You don't want to remove material from the low areas.
On a curved panel.
On a curve, right.
They changed my paper.
see where the low area is slowly disappearing. There's still plenty of material on the high areas.
But in this instance, I'm probably going to have to reprime it. Once
Right,
again,
you're gonna need another coat on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially because that Durablock really kind of flattened this area out.
Uh-huh.
As opposed to having the nice curve it's supposed to.
Right, yeah, it is flat.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
And I'm already hitting
Yeah,
metal
and
here.
You've already, the contour hasn't been, this area here is going to have to come down a little more.
Yeah, see, this was dented right here from somebody hitting it before.
Okay.
But that was body worked with Durablock.
Okay.
And that's what really kind of helped, or I don't think it helped, but it flattened out that area there. Which this is getting a nice curve back in it. It just needs to, see how this all matches here? The sandpaper's dragging smooth across all that. And it's missing right where that guide coat is. I mean, this right here has got the same contour.
Right.
It's just flattening out right here. That's where the guide coat shows you exactly what's going on with it.
So the longer board is assisting in your efforts to match the curve on the panel.
Yeah.
And plus the board curve to the panel.
As opposed to a flat board that you're trying to get to curve, but it's not made to curve.
Right.
You know, a Durablock is a great tool for something that is perfectly flat.
Oh.
That's it.
Wow, is that right? That's interesting to know that. Yeah.
I know guys that have actually taken them and belt sanded them down to thin them out. All different kinds of stuff. But
well, this definitely shows what the Curvecaster can do, cutting down the high areas and revealing the low areas in order to stay with the contour of the panel.
yeah, it just works awesome as far as I'm concerned. Some of this might actually.
Some people think that that the Curvecaster is only designed for really rounded fenders like 40 Fords or other cars that are much more around, but that's incorrect.
Yes. Most cars all have some sort of a curve to every panel.
Every panel.
I mean, there's nothing that's absolutely perfectly flat. You know, almost all cars have a curve stamped in them.
Yeah. Well, it's the manufacturer designers figured out that they couldn't create a absolutely flat panel because you would see irregularities.
You'd see too many of them.
Too many of them.
A rounded panel, you can actually, the way that the metal is, it's stronger and actually resists dents and stuff as opposed to perfectly flat. And the Curvecaster is very good at repairing those, even just the slightly curved panels. Works very well.
Well,
as you can see, we're down to some of the polyester primer and the low spot that needs to be repaired.
Yeah, do you want to work from another angle? You want me to move over here, or?
That's probably enough here to go this way to kind of match the curve this way too. You know, that matches pretty well.
If you unlock both knobs, then use your own.
Your own kind of feel.
Right. Once you get it to right.
And see, that might help with this low spot a little bit, but it's not going to totally rid it.
You have to fill it, don't you?
Yeah. It'll have to be filled.
Yeah.
As to where blocking that with the Durablock It must just be cutting flat spots.
The Durblock probably is going into the lows and
Probably.
removing material to a degree.
As far as that goes.
So does this tool save you time?
Yes, it would, definitely, because if you were to just take and Durablock it out and had flat spots in it and paint it, it would probably be a redo. You know, you'd probably get it all, you know, cleared, sanded and polished, put it on the car, and stand back and look at it and go, that's not going to work. They're not going to be happy with that. So, essentially, it is a time saver.
It's a time saver.
Yep.
And sandpaper, do you use less sandpaper?
Yeah, you know, it does keep a better contact patch, so you're not getting load up all in one area.
Right.
You know, as you can see, it's all loaded up pretty much evenly. You know, as far as the load up itself.
And it's flat.
And it's flat. You know,
it's flat.
The
board itself is flat.
Yep.
So you can take down the highs.
Yep. It's flat and matches the contour. So it works really well. I mean, you can clearly see just straight across here how flat the contact patch is of where the sandpaper's actually taken the material off.
Right, right.
As opposed to being kind of patchy and lumpy, which is kind of a sign that this thing's pretty straight, other than, you know, this corner. Yeah, than the damaged area. Stickler for cleaning my sand.
What is this a black epoxy primer?
It's actually an epoxy filling primer. So it's a heavy-bodied epoxy filling primer is what it is. Over the top of, this was polyester primer.
Okay.
Which was over the top of the bodywork that it all got blocked out in Durablocks.
Ah, I see. Wow.
So, I mean, this here is kind of a find for me, you know, considering when I hit it with the Durablock, when you guide coat it in between your grits, it was flat. So, I mean, it wasn't nearly showing quite as, you know, what this block is actually showing. Which is nice, because it will make it have that nice rounded appearance of how it should be.
Even flow with no irregularities.
Yeah, even flows. It'll make a better job out of the entire car. And especially on a trunk lid and on a hood, you know, the most important part.
So whatever's reflected in the paint will be true.
Yep.
What color is this car going to be?
It's going to be blue. Dark blue.
Boy.
Just a factory blue. There's a Z28.
Z28, what year again?
1980.
1980.
I mean, it just works so well with taking everything down to flat and straight that you can much be sure that this thing's going to be ripple free and straight. Comes down to blocking the rest of it.
Might as well. And you're getting into it now, aren't you? Just
I'll see if we find anything on this side. Which I wouldn't be surprised.
you can see how much of the board is in actual contact with the surface. And this, everybody knows what a Camaro deck lid looks like. It's rounded contour.
Now, are you full floating this board? Are both knobs unlocked?
What's that?
Are you full
Yeah,
floating?
I'm full floating. So I can actually get a good feel for it. See, this side's got similar areas. Dust. Again, that's even dust build up on the sandpaper.
So I can see it staying in contact with the whole panel.
Yep, I mean, it just, you can feel it too. It has a different drag to it, and it's not all hoppy. You know, some will hop really bad.
And the contacting board is not.
Yeah, too much in one spot, I think, too. That's where this one's just got nice contact, but yet it's still not digging out that low spot. You know, it's just floating across it, it's bridging it.
So this is
Bridging,
below
it's
here.
bridging the, right, where the
It's bridging.
preview,
Got it. See, where it's bridging that low spot, giving it a true surface. This map gets around it. And this is a 30-year-old panel too, so. But usually when somebody wants something painted, or a nice paint job, you want it flat and make it look like it was new.
so how long have you been doing this, Wes?
I've been doing cars, well, I'm 26 now, and I started block sanding and working on cars with my dad when I was about 13 years old. So 13 years. But
Yeah.
not full time till I got out of, well, I was a sophomore in high school and I started working at a body shop, sweeping the floors, and then eventually I was sanding, block sanding, prepping, and doing body work and helping everybody else out. So I've been doing it for quite a while.
Well, it definitely looks
my
like you know
age.
what you're doing, and you're still staying with it, and you like it. You like body work.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's mostly personal satisfaction and taking something that's ugly and old and making it look nice and new, and you know, it's kind of a passion. I've got a couple cars of my own.
Yeah.
Nothing that nice, because I don't have much time to put in it. Just too busy working on customer stuff.
Well, that's what pays the bills.
Yeah. Eventually. But the Curvecaster is a necessary tool for any restoration shop or any body shop, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there's just nothing else on the market like it.
Well, like Bob, exactly like Bob Haynes says, everybody should have one.
Yep, everybody should have one. Everybody.
Yeah. Well,
Whether an old car enthusiast, a DIY guys, down to the body guys at the paint shop, you know. I think everybody should have one. Or two.
or two. Yeah. And more is better, right? In this case.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It definitely shows
Okay.
stuff on this that
this is quite the shop. We're working on a number of different projects. And,
boats and
this is-
cars and trucks and motorhomes and semi-trucks, buses, fleet vehicles. We do about everything. So if you smash it, we most likely could fix it.
well, I have known your partner Roger for about 20 years, maybe 25 years. We all used to visit back and forth in the body shops, and now Roger's growing the business and found West, and so they've got quite the workload.
An operation.
Operation. They have new paint booth here, which is a mess in here, but that's okay. They just pulled the job out. So
We even fix paddleboard.
wow, yeah, whoa. When do you think this Camaro would be painted? Uh-huh.
Probably in about 2 weeks or so. You know, depending. I still got to block, you know, probably another 50% of the car out, and then we'll probably get it in paint here in the next week or so, and then start assembling.
Okay, we'll be back to take a look at
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Yeah,
Come on back
appreciate
and we'll show you the car.
Yeah, appreciate
And get
your
some
time.
good pictures of it and some video.
Yeah.